Welcome to the Cinephile Hissy podcast, the tirade film movie debate podcast hosted by two film critics, cool dads, and struggling teachers. I'm Don Shanahan.
And I'm William Johnson.
Folks, we're still in town together in Chicago, and we've been experimenting with the idea of some mini-zode content here. Mm-hmm. And we kind of wanted to do some deep cuts of love and hate into some actors and performances. So while we're in some kind of quick-hitting nature here, we're going to take some stars of our choices here a little bit and kind of go into some their filmography and pick some loves and some hates. We're going to try to do some deep dives with that. So at the same time, our dynamic is still there. This is still tantrums, and this is still shared passions, and this is still high fives. But at the end, we still, like we always say, encourage you to love what you love. But for now, the gloves are off, and we're going to duel over some actors here. So for this very first experiment kind of test run here, Will is in Chicago, and I kind of said, you know what? If we've been kind of kicking this actor idea around, and I said, you know what? While you're here, let's do Chicago-born actors. And you, to your surprise, found out that Harrison Ford was born here.
Born and raised here.
Yeah.
It surprised me. I mean, and this has surprised a lot of my Chicago family because we were looking it up and they took great pride in this because they're all generational Chicago people. I mean, they've been here forever. And they were like, oh yeah, we got to look this up. I mean, there's the obvious ones like John Cusack and things like that. But, Bill Murray. Yeah. But the top one on a list I saw on the internet was Harrison Ford, and Robin Williams as well. And I was like, I did not know that. Harrison Ford is probably. I'm going to argue this. I'm going to say that he might be, and I'm not saying has the greatest range or the greatest depth, but I think he might be one of the greatest movie stars of all time.
Absolutely. When you say the word movie star, absolutely. Yeah. Because I put Tom Cruise in that argument, where as a movie star, can you get bigger and more dynamic and more universally praised, at least for the big stuff they've done, than a guy like Cruise and Ford. But as an actor, quote unquote, actor,
I think he's an excellent actor.
I think he's an excellent actor too. And I think Tom Cruise is an excellent actor.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is.
But as a movie star, top 5, Mount Rushmore.
I think the reason why is because, and we'll talk about this with some of the picks on our list here. Harrison Ford has the uncanny ability to be both iconic and superhero-y, but also everyman.
Totally.
That's what blows my mind about him. I mean, he's this, by all accounts, a gorgeous man. You know, he's got a perfect build. He's perfectly tall. He's got great looks. So he's got the movie star look.
But he's not ripped to shreds.
He's not ripped to shreds, but he also has like these movies.
He's not doing superhuman things.
Right.
He's
maybe
stoic.
As they got a little older, they were like, we were talking about Hollywood Homicide.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing that took me out of Hollywood Homicide is at the end he's fighting like Isaiah Washington on a roof. And he's clearly too old to be doing that. But you know,
the entire fourth Indiana Jones film.
Oh my God! And they tried to play with his age a little bit. Like in the first scene, they have him like swinging on a rope, and he misses, and he's like, "Oh, I thought that was closer." Yeah, that was cute. But then they stopped doing that. He's just a superhero again.
The man should have been dead in a refrigerator in New Mexico.
Exactly. But in general, what I like about that is, like, for instance, you can one of the picks I'm going to hear, and I want to hear your opinion on this. I recently rewatched Clear and Present Danger. What I really like about that movie is we're talking about a movie star. We're talking about Harrison Ford, Han Solo, Indiana Jones. In that movie, he plays such an aw shucks, nervous.
He's a suit.
Like, you know, he doesn't think he's good enough. Yeah. People don't take him seriously. He's like in a meeting with the president, and he's like, "Oh, me? You're talking to me?" Yeah.
But it's convincing. You're not like, because he's not bringing Han Solo's swagger out.
Right.
He's convincing as you said it, an everyman. And I'll even put him as a better American everyman than Tom Hanks. I know everyone puts Tom Hanks on the level of aw shucksy, the man you want your daughter to bring home, and the dad you've always wanted to have, or the brother you've always wanted to have. I'll take Harrison Ford to Tom Hanks.
Absolutely. And I think that, and what I like about him, and I've preached about this before, and is that one thing I love, and this is why I like the MCU so much, is that a lot of the characters are defined by their vulnerability. Yes, I love vulnerability. I'm not a huge fan of Bruce Willis doesn't fit into this in the beginning, but like the Stallone, the Schwarzenegger, like in the first Die Hard, he's a very vulnerable character, even if it's just physical. But action stars like the 80s and stuff, they're invulnerable. They don't have any flaws. No. What I like about
what's the male word for the Mary Sue that always the film bros all talk about?
Larry?
I don't know.
Still, I don't know.
Sure, there's a term out there. And my film bro friends will tell me.
But yeah, I think that some of his best performances, and we're kind of skipping a Clear and Present Danger, kind of a big hit, a Jack Ryan movie, but not something that people automatically think of when they think of Harrison Ford. So we wanted to look at some deep cuts, and to me,
hit a good one here.
Two of them, two of my favorite performances by Harrison Ford, at least to show he's a great actor, is to me Presumed Innocent. And Blade Runner 2049 is my favorite performance of his. Maybe not the best, but my favorite because it shows him, and even Eastwood has done this on occasion, like with $1 Million Baby. I love when you have these iconic people show their vulnerability.
Yes,
and in Blade Runner 2049, his face. First of all, Harrison
shows
Ford,
the weight of the world, man.
Yeah. First of all, Harrison Ford, amazing facial actor.
Oh yeah,
he just knows how to wear everything. I mean, you take like the
but he pops a little eyebrow here. He winces a little smirk here. Like he's got a twinkle, man.
Yeah, and then he also has his every actor has their thing. Harrison Ford is the finger point.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, every movie you can look forward to a Harrison Ford finger point.
For as much as he could be the demure office suit in Clear and Present Danger, he's the president of the fucking United States, throwing motherfuckers off planes in Air Force One.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So I'm going to go with that because Blade Runner 2049. There's just this whole scene towards the end with Jared Leto where he's got every emotion in the book, like because he's dealing with seeing his ex-lover again. He's sad about maybe finding out about his daughter. He's nervous because Jared Leto's like, well, if you don't give me the information, I'm going to take you off world and torture you. Like there's all this, there's fear, there's anger, there's sadness. But then also Presumed Innocent, you have this very confident lawyer. And I'm not going to spoil it, but basically the ending shakes him to his core. And you get this beautiful, like there's actors who cry, like, do the whole crying, screaming thing. Harrison Ford, just like being a great face actor, has this scene where this tear rolls down his face, and you're just like, oh yeah, see, this is kind of how we humans are affected. We don't always go, oh my god.
Yeah. We don't have the stage Marlon Brando moments.
Right.
Yeah.
We have that moment where we can't just hold back that tear, but you're also trying to contain yourself. So Presumed Innocent, I got a great counter.
I got a great additional example of that where small emotions, facial expressions nail it, and he's a supporting part in it. It's in a forgettable Blake Lively movie, but his little supporting turn in The Age of Adeline hits like a ton of bricks. Like he's the most solid piece of that movie. Where same thing, like Blake Lively's character is a woman who doesn't age, so she for some weird, really dumb supernatural thing, and but Harrison Ford at his age plays one of her ex-beaux. So and she's done a really good job of like covering her tracks where every time she accidentally gets in a relationship, she moves to another town, changes her identity, stuff like that. So but she runs into Harrison Ford because she's dating his son and doesn't know it, but he sees her and just that he has this moment where the hard face melts and he's like, oh my god, it's you. And like he had same thing, just that trembled emotion of holy shit, that's the woman of my dreams, and she hasn't aged in what the hell. And preposterous concept, but he sells it. Stunning emotion.
Well, I mean, we talk about preposterous concept. I mean, we're trying to avoid the heavy hitters that he's done.
Yeah. Everyone knows Indiana Jones and Han Solo are amazing.
But when you think about Indiana Jones or Han Solo, I think of more the moments where, like, talk about the everyman versus the iconic superhero. You've got, Harrison Ford swinging on a whip and doing heroic things, and then he falls next to a snake and he's like, Jesus Christ, snakes!
Oh yeah.
Or like my favorite Han Solo bit, the reason why I fell in love with the Han Solo character is there's that moment where he's running, screaming with his gun into the hallway, chasing a couple stormtroopers, and then 2 seconds later he's running back, going, oh shit!
Yeah.
Or
that's
like,
the way to go with
or
it.
that moment where you talk about, especially in the 80s, action heroes having the perfect one-liner and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I love in the first Star Wars where he's like, everything's great down here. How are you?
Yeah, we're fine. We're good. How are you?
It's just he has that ability to kind of be both. And I think that's what...
And Oscar Isaac can dream to be that. When he's trying to do the voicemail dumb shit in Rise of... or the middle movie, Last Jedi. Yeah.
I will say this. I've always had a theory, and I want to see if you agree with this. And it was ruined by J.J. Abrams.
Oh boy, here we go.
But to me, Star Wars, I always used to say any Star Wars movie with Harrison Ford is good or great. I'm going to say great. The original trilogy.
I like Force Awakens.
And I love the Force Awakens. It's my second favorite Star Wars movie.
He brings the gravitas level up.
So until then, since they kill him in that movie, spoiler alert, I was like, okay.
I'm one of those people who thinks he kills himself.
Okay, I think he does too.
I think he turns out.
Yeah, to help his son. But no, those 4 movies, I was like, great. My theory sticks true. Every Star Wars movie with Harrison Ford, excellent. Every movie without Harrison Ford sucks. And then Rise of Skywalker came out, and that's the best part of the movie. It is Harrison Ford showing up. Yeah. But holy fuck, that movie is terrible. Yeah. So it ruined my theory about Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess.
But anyways, any other cuts that you've seen?
We're talking about his charm, and he doesn't make a ton of romances, he's not a sex pot guy who's going to make love scenes and things like that. Yeah. He's not Brad Pitt who's just going to bed women all movie. But when he does turn on the charm to catch a woman's eye, it's kind of fun because same thing is the everyman. It's the twinkle that he's got. And we've all, thanks to Solo, we know he can kind of get the girl through the slow play. I really enjoy Morning Glory. I know we just got done with J.J. Abrams, but him asking that guy to play the newsman with the confident voice, but I'm going to, be the Lothario to a small degree. Like, that's a cool, charming part to put him in.
Well, it's
because you believe him as that stature of a trusted newsman who probably doesn't break character, but when he does, the twinkle's there.
Well, I think, so I was talking about this with somebody else the other day. I think a lot of the great movie stars and actors, they eventually become characters of themselves.
Totally.
We know that happens with Pacino.
Yeah.
We know that happened with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. The thing is all those become almost like sad tropes in themselves, and it just becomes pathetic. Harrison Ford is now embracing almost his personality off camera as his character. Like,
when he's on Fallon or when he's on talk show and he just, I'm here to sell the fucking movie. He does not give a shit about being there, and he's there. And he knows it.
He's doing that in movies now. Yeah. And I think once he realized he could do that, for instance, I have another one on my list here. Another one that people don't think of: Cowboys and Aliens versus Aliens, or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
That was kind of the comeback for. I think that was when he was starting to come back in the consciousness. That's pre Force Awakens.
It's 3 years after. Well, the 3 years after Crystal Skull, where like that sank him for a bit, and he had to rise back up.
Yeah, but what I like about that movie is he's just a crusty curmudgeon.
42.
Farmer, 42. He's kind of he has a little bit of.
You got to have heart there because he's the guy who makes it happen.
But and then you talk about Age Adeline, but Morning Glory, he's playing kind of a grumpy. Yeah, I like that. That's his.
You've got one more charming movie here where him.
He's a little grumpy too.
Yeah, in that one. A little bit of May December too, where Anne H is way too young for him. But pop this one out there for us.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I guarantee you she's 20 years younger than him.
I think age-wise, yes, but I think Anne Heche never looks young.
No, she might have been like 31 making that movie.
She's like a Gillian Anderson to me that always looks older than she is. But yes, you made the point. 6 Days, 7 Nights. That was another movie. I was talking earlier about movies that I would just randomly rent at the video store, and they were great. This is one I saw in the theater with my mom, actually. Yeah. I remember we were like, let's just watch 6 Days, 7 Nights. And I remember just being totally charmed by it.
Oh, totally.
It was a fun little adventure. Yeah. And he's charming in it. He's flawed. I mean, that's the thing about Indiana Jones is like, you have those moments where, he loses his cool because he knows he's going to, like that scene in, I think it's Temple, where he's like, we are going to die. He has those moments where it's like, he's not cool under pressure all the time. And I think that movie plays it up. He's kind of if I'm mistaken, tell me if I'm wrong, but is he kind of like a drunkard pilot?
Oh, yeah. It's like the African Queen set on a plane.
And there's just a great scene that still sticks with me today, even though I haven't seen the movie in 20 years, where I think a snake is in Anne Heche's pants. Yeah. And he's got this thing where he's got to go down. He's trying to be respectful, and then he kind of has a twinkle in his eye, like I'm reaching down Anne Heche's pants. It's a wonderful performance. So I think the thesis of what we're coming up with, the reason why he is so great, is because he can bridge both those worlds flawlessly.
He can look like a rock-chinned, ironclad man of virtue, and then he's the charming rogue. And so few actors do that in a great way. And yeah, Chicago's own, we get to claim here.
Yep, absolutely. So that was our Harrison Ford little mini episode. We were trying to go for 10 minutes, but we went
15.
for 15.
15 ain't bad.
You got Harrison Ford. I mean,
yeah.
One day I want to talk about like John Cazale.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 5 movies, so
won't take
that long. But anyway, so I'm going to do the normal outro, right?
Yeah, because we still need to pay the bills and honor the people.
Yeah, so follow us on Twitter at Cinephile Fit and on Facebook at Cinephile Hissy Fits Podcast. Also find us both on Letterboxd. Thanks so much for your captive audience, social media participation, and letting us experiment with you. Hopefully you dig this kind of concept.
Hopefully it sees the light of air.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it will.
We got something here.
Cinephile Hissy Fits is a 25YL media podcast brought to you by RuminationsRadioNetwork.com. Please visit, rate, review, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this show, we have more Where That Came From, with interesting hosts and wonderful guests, all available on iTunes, Spotify, and anywhere you find your favorite shows.